challenges. Let's get into this because there's a lot of buzzwords flying around, a lot of, marketing nonsense. And, I want to make sure folks know, the reason that you guys run with the Hounds, the reason I recommend and endorse this is because you're educators. You're not trying to sell, vegan steak dinners and bald people haircuts. You're out there. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, present company included. My bad, Jeff. But still, yeah, Jeff knows me, thank God. So, but again, you guys are very educational. You really want to, you're patient with people as well. I saw that. And that's won a lot of people over, Jeff. And that's something that I can absolutely appreciate and really get behind. So, Waqas, let's start with you. Again, why real estate? Why Metaverse? Why AI? And why now? What is it all about? And why is it important to the regular folks out here?
Look, Mike, it's very interesting, first of all, I'll come to the real estate part because then everything makes sense to you because first, why real estate? And my vision with the real estate to provide the opportunity for masses to a normal person, who masses actually who can get benefited with the real estate business. But to get into the real estate business and get into the profits of real estate, somebody need, a minimum $500,000 or few $100,000 in order to get into the real estate. You need to buy an apartment or a condo, right, or a villa, starting from, a couple of $100,000. And, lately I was in KL, so we were looking for a condo. It starts from $500,000. So somebody to get into the business, he needs that kind of a money in order to get into the business. So my focus was, and the vision was that, somebody who cannot afford, from a humble background, he must have a chance to get into this business model, get into real estate, get into this asset class in order to start taking an advantage of it and build his life alongside with that. So that's why that fractional ownership idea comes to me. And then the best part was that we have chosen blockchain to be the vehicle in order to reach people and to create the whole system. And why blockchain? Because when we talk about blockchain, people only think about maybe cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin or something like that. But all these things are very tiny part of blockchain. Blockchain is way bigger than that. When you talk about blockchain, it's transparent, it's robust, right? It's very powerful, and anyone in any business can use that technology. So we have picked up blockchain for that matter. And if you come up with the meta and the AI, so now AI is not just a buzzword. AI is everywhere. AI is in your life, right? And in the upcoming days, your life will be incomplete without AI, right? Especially when this agents generation is coming up, and then they will start helping you with the business, with education, with life, with everything. So you will see the change. And along with that, there is a whole universe is building, which is in the metaverse. And that really, and I'll give you like when we started Metaverse, people was thinking what you guys are talking about? It was just a hype. And after Facebook moving to Meta, look at the shares value, look at the stocks, it's going down. Come on guys, last week you have seen the new Ray-Ban with the Meta glass has been launched and is being successful. It's an amazing product. And look at the numbers. From one to this model, it took few years, and this model from the last model is only 10 months. So can you imagine the technology is moving so fast? And I believe the next version will not take 10 months. I believe it will be launched within few months. And then every business will be like, when in 1995, when I was talking to people about the web business, that I used to go and tell people that if you are not on web, you are not in the business, and people make fun of me. Right? and that was the time actually, But now when I'm telling people that if you're not in Metaverse, you do not even exist, people think, we are getting crazy or something. But now, and look at the Meta one. Metaverse is not just one product, one place, one game. The Meta one is a whole universe we are creating. And that universe consists of 5 continents. And guess what? We have picked up the right continent to launch Meta One. The first one was education. because there's a huge gap and space. Nobody was doing on that part, at that point of time. And second, we pick up the business. And if you imagine, it's a big hit. Like with our new product, which is coming in the market, which is a chemistry lab, Mike, it's blown away because you remember you going to the chemistry lab in your days. And I don't remember that, how many like huge experiments, maybe 3, 4 we have done, and then they kick us out from the lab. But today, with the Metaverse, you go into our lab, and a child and a kid, he can do experiments as many as possible without any hesitation, right? And that's create the new era, right? For the
Wait a minute. Listen, I was on board with you until it. Look, what's wrong with my chemistry lab? So now it's getting personal.
Soon.
I even brought my tie out for you, Waqas. All right. So, but you're right. Like, it's amazing. And two things you said, and I want to go to Dr. Tahir. Number one, you're dead right. This is what it burns me and a lot of folks. How are you supposed to build wealth, right? Generational wealth, or even just a better quality of life for your family, right? Time, money, and freedom. If you have to have a bunch of money to get in, that's why fractional is such a powerful. And you didn't have to do that, guys. We all know. And if you don't know, I'll share it with you. They could have just went to wealthy investors and kept this privatized and upper level. They chose to bring this to the masses as well because they really want to help people. They're regular folks. And that's what this whole thing's about. How do we level the playing field? How do we make things affordable and accessible and all grow together? It really is something special. So thank you for that because, and by the way, they laughed at the microwave, right? They thought that was a funny concept. They laughed at the radio, the internet. Everything that we enjoy today was a laughable concept by somebody like y'all up here. And that's why I love having these shows. So Dr. Tahir, you talk a lot about purpose-driven growth, right? How do you see digital real estate connecting to legacy? Like, what do you see for the future and impact? What's your thoughts?
Well, a great question, Mike, and I would start from where Waqas left. On the real estate aspect, it's easier said than done that assets are there, get a couple of $1 million or hundreds of millions of dollars in and help a couple of people empower themselves. It's hard to fractionalize something, to take the hits, regulatory and otherwise, legals and otherwise, so that the masses could benefit to a market that has an unfair advantage. I've been a part of that market for decades, and the unfair advantage is the higher the assets you have, the better the returns would be, or the better the price would be. Now, the reason I mention that is because it's important to understand how we are taking a physical brick and mortar asset, and then when we say digital asset or digital real estate asset, we're taking the same physical and digitalizing it. So that's one factor. Through the click of a button, thanks to blockchain, we are able to do that through VRDa1 group of companies. So that's, the other part is, anyone on planet Earth can take advantage of that because it's digital. You don't have to be physically in a particular place, sign thousands and thousands of pages of documents. From a convenience point, it becomes a lot easier. So when you make a product simple enough, and you make a product good enough to move fast enough, you become disruptive in an asset industry, in our case, the digital real estate industry. Now, the moment you start doing that, what you start realizing is the entrepreneurs, the first investors who come on board with this idea, as crazy as it would sound to some of our audiences who are probably hearing this for the first time, yes, this exists. We've been doing it for years with VRDa1. And now, if you take the advantage of doing it correctly, even as a consumer, you stand a chance to leave a legacy for the next generation to come, because we took away the excuse of saying that, I didn't have a couple of $100,000 or a couple of $1 million, because it could start with a couple of $1,000 and onwards. So that's one aspect, and I'll just add something else to it. The second aspect is, even if you had a couple of $1 million, why would you put all of that into one basket when you could fractionalize it across continents, across the world? As crazy as that sounds, today that's possible. Yes.
No, I love that. And we're going to go to Dr. Jeff because he's all about wellness, everything, well, physical, mental, financial wellness. It's not one or the other, right? But you hit the nail on the head, Dr. Tahir, as usual, that wisdom, right? That's what I love about you guys. You're like, no, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Use discernment. Do what's best in your best interest, right? And you guys make this affordable and accessible, right? There's like $50 I mean, you really did go above and beyond. I know way too much about this industry. So I can vouch for the fact that you guys are putting this together very masterful. So Dr. Jeff, hey man, again, where do you see, virtual spaces, AI, Metaverse, where do you see this intersecting with human performance, right? How is this going to help us as people and productivity? What do you see this coming as the future?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So I'd like to just go back a little bit to the previous question and intertwine it with the legacy aspect. And when I talk with people, I share my story. I'm an ex-software engineer. And in 2009, I was approached with the opportunity to purchasing 500 Bitcoin at 0.0017 cents. That's an 85-cent investment. My response was, nah, sounds like a scam. And I just looked up, Bitcoin is now at $109,000 per coin. So we bring that forward, and here we are. We are in the front of a paradigm shift in the way things are being done. And I encourage people to think about decades ago when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon introduced their technologies decades ago. There were people who saw a vision in that technology and they jumped on board. That's exactly where we are today with blockchain technology. And we talk about blockchain, and Tahir talked about Waqas talked about the tokenization of real estate on blockchain in 2019. Well, today the phrase real world assets is now in play, and real world assets are tangible items. You've got real estate, you've got cars, you've got the metaverse. You're investing into a platform on the blockchain technology, like those who invested in Microsoft back in the day, Apple back in the day. But this really, and legacy isn't what you leave behind; it's really what you set in motion. And I'm building systems and educating people to create that abundance that ripples through generations. We want it to be passed because we're in that futuristic legacy growth period right now, and it's about empowering others to break free from scarcity-based thinking and then build wealth at all dimensions. Because as the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness, I believe we should be, we're giving the tools and the protocols for people to actually create a life and to live an abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And when you're financially free, the world is your oyster, because unfortunately money, rules everything in what you do, and you have more options when you are financially free. And that's how I tie everything into this. And again, that educational aspect. We're in a new educational era here, and it's time to educate, because those who remain stagnant will be left behind.
Yeah, a couple things you said, man, that resonates. Number one, say that again. Legacy is what you set in motion. Man, that's poetic. That ought to be on a fortune cookie, man. But say that again.
So legacy isn't what you leave behind; it's what you set in motion.
Wow. Man, I might steal. You better trademark that or something. All right. And then second of all, you've been there and done that, man. You're speaking from experience, and education. Today, people can Google everything. Information is not kept for a few like it was in the 80s, right? Now it's everywhere. Today's professionals, and you guys caught this, I'm going to spill the beans. Y'all okay with this? All right, because I saw through it. Today's professionals, what you guys are demonstrating is now you help people weed through 8 billion pages of a Google search, right, to find the one thing that they need to focus, and then focus on the next thing. You make sense of all the confusion, all the overload of information. And that is what really makes me go, that makes sense. Because if folks Google Metaverse right now, tell me how many pages pop up.
Absolutely.
Right? But I could sit down with Dr. Jeff for 30 minutes and go, okay, yeah, now I'm starting to understand that, right? And then how does it apply to me, my family, my lifestyle, my goals and dreams? And I think that's what it is, okay? So,
hey, Mike, can I add one more thing to this?
Absolutely.
And actually Waqas, and I think Tahir touched on this. What I love about this business model is that it's geared for the masses, and we're all about for the betterment of humanity, because there are people struggling out there. They don't know where to go, they don't know what to do, and our products and services are geared for the masses to be able to come in, not with hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, but come in and get their baby toe wet or get their foot wet and start exploring this whole paradigm shift in the blockchain, because blockchain is where everything is going. And that's in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. A lot of the things that we're doing today will be, prehistoric. So
yeah, it's wild. You're dead on. And while I got you here, real quick, if you would,